Hey all, welcome to Homeschool, and we are with a wonderful chapter, Light, Reflection and Refraction. And this is our third video on a chapter. If you want to watch the previous two videos, links are provided in the description. You can just check the links. You will definitely get a detailed explanation on a concept. See, we have already covered some basics on light, reflection, laws of reflection we have discussed. After that, we studied about the spherical mirrors, where two types of spherical mirrors, concave and convex, and terms related to spherical mirrors. Terms like pole, center of curvature, then radius of curvature, principal axis, focus, focal length, all of them we have discussed in detail. And in my very first video, I have discussed the image formed by plane mirror. Do you remember how images formed in a plane mirror? Plane mirrors are nothing but the mirrors which are there in our houses. The mirrors that we use to get ready. Right? Say if you stand in front of a plane mirror, how does your image, your reflection looks? Your image looks as though it is there behind the mirror, right? And such a image is called virtual image. Okay, the image which is appears to be there behind the mirror. The image does not appear on a screen. When you keep a screen in front of a mirror, your image is not to be seen on a screen, right? Because it is appearing behind the mirror. So such an image is called virtual image. And the image is erect, that is upright. See, our heads are top. Our heads appear on top even in the mirror also, right? Our heads does not appear down, downside, never. This is what we call erect. Appearing image upright is called erect. And size of the image is same as the size of the object. Okay, see, your height appears same even in the mirror also. And if you are thin, you look thin in the mirror. If you are fat, you look fat in the mirror, right? There is no change in the size of an object. Size appears same. See, these are some characteristics of the images by plane mirrors. Now we are talking about how images are formed in spherical mirrors. Say you get a different types of images in spherical mirrors, guys. Okay, different images in concave, different images in convex. Say all of them we are going to discuss now. And these image formation by spherical mirrors, both by concave and convex, is very important topic for your board examination. Okay, and see here, the image formation in a spherical mirror is studied by drawing something called ray diagrams. Okay, so we famously call the image formation by spherical mirrors as the ray diagrams. Okay, we study the image formation by drawing ray diagrams. Clear? So this point, keep it in your mind. Fine. And to draw the ray diagrams, we need certain basics. Like there are certain rules to follow for drawing a ray diagram. Okay, so before we go for the image formation by the spherical mirrors, we need to learn how to draw a ray diagram. We need to learn what rules we have to follow to draw a ray diagram. Okay, so initially I am starting with a topic called rules for drawing ray diagrams. This is very important, and these things are also called standard incident rays. Standard incident rays. Anyway, you can forget this word, not an issue. Concentrate the different rules that I am giving on a board. Okay, and this chapter is all about visualization. If you just see, it will not come. along with me, when you work in your book, you feel it easier, right? So keep a pen and paper ready to take all the rules for drawing a ray diagram. Yeah. Rule number 1. First, I will give the rules for drawing ray diagrams in concave mirrors. Yeah, concave mirrors. Rule number 1 is very, very important. See, when an incident ray is parallel to the principal axis, the reflected ray will pass through the focus. Okay, don't worry. See, if this is your concave mirror, right? Concave mirror is what? Reflecting surface will face inwards. Reflecting surface will face inwards, right? And we know center of the reflecting surface is pole, and then center of the sphere is center of curvature. Then this is a focus. So focus is a point that is present between pole and center of curvature, right? Say this is what our concave mirror. So what did I tell you? Any incident ray parallel to the principal axis, incident ray coming, okay, parallel to the principal axis, if it is coming, then its reflected ray will definitely pass through a focus. Okay, so this is what our rule number 1. So what you can write? If incident ray is parallel to principal axis, any incident ray that is coming parallel to the principal axis, then reflected ray, this is very, very important, reflected ray always passes through what? Focus. Always passes through principal focus. Clear, everybody? Say normally when an incident ray strikes at a certain point, you know, how do you draw a reflected ray? Reflected ray is always drawn with respect to the normal. Yes or no? Normal have to be there. Say, in how many steps do you draw a reflected ray? First, see, at this point, your incident ray has hit. Okay, and then first you will draw a normal. How do you draw a normal in a spherical mirror? Just a line you will draw to that point from center of curvature. Okay, incident ray has hit at this point D. Okay, then you will draw a line perpendicular to the D from center of curvature. This becomes a normal. Now you will find the angle. This is angle of incidence. The same angle you will take this side, right? That is angle of reflection. Then according to that angle, you will draw a reflected ray, right? So these are the steps you will always follow basically when an incident ray hit at a point on a spherical mirror. Okay, but every time taking a normal, then finding an angle of reflection, then drawing a reflected ray, you know, it takes lot of time. And you know, sometimes when you have to draw a reflected rays for many incident rays, then it leads to a confusion also. Okay, so actually these are certain shortcuts to remember, right? So what is the first shortcut, guys? Whenever an incident ray hits at a certain point, if that incident ray is parallel to the principal axis, this is our principal axis, right? Line passing through pole and center of curvature is principal axis. Okay, so whenever an incident ray parallel to the principal axis hits, then its reflected ray always passes through focus. So this is the first rule you have to keep in mind, right? And coming to the second rule. Second rule is just opposite to this. So what is our second rule? If an incident ray if an incident ray passes through focus point, if it is passing through focal point, then reflected ray goes parallel to the principal axis. Okay, so this is our second point, that is exactly opposite to this. So now how do you draw that? This is our concave mirror. Exactly this point is a pole, right? And along with me, if you can write and practice, it comes to you very easily. So please do that. And what I said, some incident ray passing through focus. Yes, incident ray is passing through focus. This is my incident ray. And then it has to reflect, right? And to find the reflected ray, first drawing a normal, taking the angles, all that is not necessary. Just what they are telling, when an incident ray is passed through a focus point, then its reflected ray is always parallel. It is parallel to the principal axis. Okay, so this is our second rule. Rule number 3. This is very, very important, guys. If an incident ray passes through center of curvature, C, that is center of curvature, reflected ray goes back in a same line, guys. Reflected ray goes back in a same line. This is very important. Say for example, this is your concave mirror, this is your pole, focal length, center of curvature. Okay, see, an incident ray is coming in the same direction. It is passing through center of curvature. Okay, say, okay, let me take another incident ray. Say, I am taking an incident ray that is passing through center of curvature. And the reflected ray also goes in a same direction. Reflected ray goes in a same direction, guys. Okay, so this is only your incident ray, this is only your reflected ray. This point is very important. Why? Because you see, a line drawn from a center of curvature to any point is normal, right? Normal. It is actually a normal. This incident ray is crossing through a normal. So any incident ray going through a normal will get reflected back in a same direction. Okay, so this is a common point. Angle of incidence becomes 0. Right? See, incident ray is crossing through normal. That means angle of incidence. How do you make incidence? Angle of incidence, that is 0. When angle of incidence is 0, angle of reflection is also 0, no? Because our law of reflection says that angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. When angle of incidence is 0, angle of reflection is also 0. That's why the reflected ray also goes in a same direction. Clear, everybody? Say, this is the third and important rule that one must remember. If an incident ray crosses through a center of curvature, the reflected ray also goes in a same direction, right? Because, any line drawn from center of curvature to a particular point becomes a normal. Here, incident ray is going in a normal line direction only. Okay, when angle of incidence is 0, angle of reflection must be 0. So the reflected ray also goes in a same direction. Okay, so these 3 are very, very important points one must remember. Okay, now we will see what rules to be followed in case of convex mirror. Convex mirror also same rules. Okay, but how do you draw them? How do you draw them is a different thing, because concave mirror, in front of a mirror your center of curvature and focus point will come, but in case of convex the center of curvature and focus point is behind. So how to draw these rules, these particular ray diagrams in case of convex mirror is what we will study now. In case of convex mirror, the first rule was similar to the first rule that we studied in case of concave mirror. What was the first rule? The incident ray which is parallel to the principal axis always passes through focus, right? So here, how do you show that? Showing is different. The rules are same here for both concave and convex for drawing ray diagrams. Clear, everybody? So how do you show a convex mirror here? Something like this. See, here reflecting surface is outside, okay, and this is your pole, right? And this is your focus point, and this is the center of curvature, right? Say here, if a incident ray is parallel to the principal axis, then the reflected ray should go through the focus. Okay, so if you extend the reflected rays position, it will pass through the focus, right? So this is how you have to show the first rule here. If an incident ray is parallel to the principal axis, the reflected ray passes through the focus. Since the focus point is behind the mirror, you should just extend this reflected rays, line towards the focus. Yeah? So this is our first rule, isn't it? Coming to the second rule. So what is our second rule? Just opposite. If an incident ray, goes through a focus, focus is behind, right? If this is an incident ray that is appears to go through a focus, then the reflected ray is, perpendicular to the principal axis. This is our principal axis. Say this is our incident ray, appears to pass through focus. It is not actually, in real, it is not passing through a focus. It is appearing to pass through a focus. Okay, when the incident ray appears to pass through a focus, then the reflected ray is parallel to the principal axis. Clear? So this is our second rule. Fine. So what is the difference between concave rules and convex rules is, in case of convex, you just use the word appears. Say here, what I can say here is, if the incident ray is parallel to the principal axis, then the reflected ray appears to pass through a focus point. Appears to pass through a focus. Right? So that is the rule here. And here what I can write, if the incident ray appears to pass through a focus, then the reflected ray is parallel to the principal axis. Right? So this is how you have to draw and show for a second rule. Now what is the third rule? If this is your, convex mirror, this is pole, this is focus point, and this is center of curvature. Right? So what was the thing we studied here? If the incident ray is what? Passing through a center of curvature, then it's reflected. If this is your incident ray passing through a center of curvature, then your reflected ray also would go in a same direction. Right? Say that was our third rule, and this is how you have to indicate in case of convex mirror. Okay, so if the incident ray appears to pass through a center of curvature, then the reflected ray also goes in a same direction. Okay, and showing arrow marks is very, very important in case of ray diagrams. If you have not shown the arrow marks properly, marks will get cut in the final board examination. Okay, see here, the incident ray, this arrow mark tells that an incident ray is there, and that is passing through a center of, appears to pass through a center of curvature, because it's behind the mirror. No, it appears like that. It's not really. We are just imagining that if an incident ray passes through a center of curvature, then the reflected ray coming is also in the same direction. See, two arrow marks I have shown in a single line. That means incident ray and the reflected ray, both are in actually same position but in opposite direction. Incident ray is coming like this, reflected ray is going like this, right? So these are the three rules that you can follow for the ray diagrams of convex mirror. Okay, so now we got to know the rules. So in total, how many rules we have studied? Three rules. Fourth rule is not necessary, guys. So three rules of concave and three rules of convex. You have to remember for drawing the ray diagrams of concave and convex mirrors. So with the help of ray diagrams only, now we are going to learn the image formation in case of concave mirror. First, let us learn formation of image by concave. Later, we will go for studying formation of image by convex. Okay. See, coming to the ray diagrams of concave mirror, we have 6 cases here, 6 important cases. See, as the object position changes, object is anything that you keep in front of a mirror. Okay, so if I keep an object very far, the image appears is different. Okay, when I keep an object very near, different image I get. When I keep an object somewhere, little far, image appearance is different. See, as the distance of the object varies, the appearance of images also differs. Okay, so this is an important observation that we can make out in case of concave mirrors. Okay, so all the 6 cases, like if the object is at infinity, what happens for the image, how an image appears. If an object, I keep it exactly at the center of curvature, how does an image appears? Like that we have 6 cases. Okay, so all the 6 cases, let us learn with the help of ray diagrams. Clear? See the case number 1, the first case. Okay, case 1. In our case 1, we are actually studying a ray diagram if an object is kept at infinity. So what is our case 1? If an object is at infinity, like if I keep an object very much far away from the mirror, how does it appear? How does an image of that object appears? Is what I am showing you now. Clear? Say this is our concave mirror, right? And this is the pole, and this is the focus point, this is center of curvature. Okay, and I keep my object very far away. This is the object, this arrow mark is my object AB. Okay, and from an object, actually many rays will hit the mirror, right? I will take any 2 rays. Okay, we have studied the 3 rules for concave, 3 rules for convex, no? So any 2 rules you will apply here, right? Say either you can take an incident ray going parallel to the principal axis, or you can take an incident ray going through the focus, or you can take an incident ray going through the center of curvature. Okay, any 2 rays you have to consider here. Okay, with 1 ray we cannot show the image formation. Minimum of 2 rays have to be there, okay, to show the formation of image. So what I will take is, I will take an incident ray running parallel to the principal axis. So how does a reflected ray pass through? Reflected ray always passes through a focal point. Sir, no? Now I told you at least 2 incident rays you have to take. One incident ray I took this one. It went parallel to the principal axis. When the incident ray goes parallel to the principal axis, reflected ray passes through the focus point, principal focus point, right? And now since the object is at infinity, okay, object is at infinity, right? Say the rays coming from an object which is at infinity is almost every time parallel. Okay, whatever the incident rays that is coming from this object, it will always, most of the rays always remain parallel only. Okay, so now I will take another parallel incident ray here. Okay, I am taking another incident ray because I need two incident rays, right, to show the image formation. Say this is the incident ray parallel to the principal axis. Here also the reflected ray will pass through the focus. Okay, observe carefully. This is my first incident ray I1. This is my first reflected ray R1. Okay, this is my second incident ray I2, and the second reflected ray R2. Okay, you see, image is always formed at a point where reflected rays meet. This point you should always keep it in your mind. I have already told this point in my first video, isn't it? Say image always forms at a point where reflected rays are meeting. So where are the reflected rays meeting, guys? This is my first reflected ray. This is my second reflected ray. Where are they meeting? They are meeting at focus point. Okay, so at this point, image is formed. At this point, this image is formed. Okay, so now let us write a few points that they can ask in the examination. Okay, so the very first point is position of image. So what is the position of image? At what position image is forming? At focus. Image is forming at focus, isn't it? And next, nature of image. Nature of image is real and inverted. You know, always in case of concave mirror, in most of the cases, images formed are real. So what do you mean by real image? Real image is that image that is forming in front of the mirror. Virtual image is formed backside of the mirror. Like when you look yourself in front of a plain mirror, that is mirror that is there in your houses, you feel that your image is there backside of the mirror. So such a image is what? Virtual image, and it cannot be appear on a screen. Okay, but if you keep a screen at this particular point, you know, the image of this can appear on a screen. Okay, because the image is forming before the mirror, in front of the mirror. Such a image is called real image. Real images are always inverted, guys. Real images are always inverted. Okay, if you take a spoon, you know, the front part of the spoon, if you take and you hold it in front of your face, you will appear inverted. Okay, so your head appears down. That's what we call inverted. Real images are always inverted. Virtual images are always erect. This point you fix it in your mind. Okay, say real and inverted is one combination. Virtual and erect is another combination. Whenever you find a virtual image, that is always erect. Whenever you find real image, that is image forming in front of the mirror, not backside, in front of the mirror, image is forming. Such a image is real. Real images are always inverted. Okay, so this is one important point that should always get fixed in your heads. Yeah, fine. And now, size of the image. Size of image. You know, I took this much big arrow mark, but that much big arrow mark I don't get at the point focus. You know, I get a diminished image. Okay, almost a point sized image only I will get. Okay, so image size is diminished. Diminished in the sense very small, highly diminished, almost point size. Point size image I will get. See, I don't see the exact prominent arrow mark at focal point. I just see this arrow mark as if it is there as a point here. Okay, so image has become very small, very small. That's why I call the size of an image has become diminished. Okay, and also it is looking like a point. I took such a big image, but it's looking like a point. Say these are the 3 points you should always remember for all the cases. So what was the case 1? The image was kept somewhere very far at infinity. Okay. So when the object is at infinity, at what position image has formed? Image has exactly formed at the focus. Okay. What's the nature? Real and inverted. Okay. Size of the image diminished. This is how we have to study the ray diagrams, guys. Clear? And now let us see the second case. In my second case, I keep object beyond C. Initially the object was very far away. Now I will bring the object little near, guys. Okay. So I am keeping my object at this point. Okay. AB. This is my object. Beyond C. Behind C I am keeping. And now let us see where the reflected rays are actually meeting. Okay, say I will take initially one incident ray parallel to the principal axis. This is my incident ray 1. So whenever an incident ray is falling parallel to the principal axis, then definitely its reflected ray would go through the focus. So this is my first reflected ray. So I should check where the reflected rays are actually meeting. Okay, so that is my target, because wherever the reflected rays are meeting, at that particular point, image is going to be formed. Clear? Fine. So this is my first reflected ray. Little bigger one I will draw. Yes, this is my first reflected ray. See now, second incident ray, I will take it and it is passing through the center of curvature. Okay, center of curvature. This is my second incident ray. Okay, I am taking in such a way that it is passing through the center of curvature. Say whenever an incident ray passes through a center of curvature, it moves in the same direction. It moves in a same line. Yes or no? It's going. Incident ray is going like this. Reflected ray also goes like that, because angle of incidence is 0. Angle of reflection is also 0. Right? Say this is only my reflected ray. This is only incident ray. This is only my reflected ray whenever it is passing through center of curvature. Right? So now where are the reflected rays meeting, guys? So this is my R2. So this is R1. This is only R2. So here at this point both are meeting. Yes or no? So image is formed, say little bigger image. Here the image is point size, but here draw the image from principal axis. See, image is upright. Image is upright from the principal axis. So from the principal axis to the meeting point, draw the image like this. Okay, it appears inverted. Okay, say this is our B and this is our A. So this is our image, guys. You can clearly see, no, this is our image. So where it is forming? Between C and F. Image is getting formed between C and F, isn't it? Now let us write the points. So what is the position of image? Position of image is between center of curvature and focus. Yes or no? And now what is the nature of image? Nature is real. The image is formed in front of a mirror. So the nature is real. Whenever real images are there, they are always inverted. Remember this point. Okay. And finally, what is the size of image? Size is little diminished only. Smaller size only you will get. Yes or no? Because you see, initially I took this much big arrow mark, this much big object, but I am getting only this much object as an image. Yes or no? So here the size is diminished. So this is our case 2. So in case object is kept behind the C, then image is always formed between C and F. Image is always formed between C and F, and the nature of image is real and inverted. Size is little small, that is diminished only we will call. Smaller size decreased. Smaller sizes are always called with another beautiful word of English, that is diminished. Coming to the third case, I will keep the object at exactly C. Okay, I'll keep the object at center of curvature. Then how does the image looks like? See, observe carefully. How is the image looking like? See, if this is our concave mirror, this is P, right? And the principal axis, this is our focus, this is our center of curvature, right? And see here, object, where am I keeping? Object is kept exactly at the center of curvature. So this is my object, AB. This is my object. Okay. So now draw any two rays and check where are the reflected rays are meeting. So the first incident ray I will draw is the incident ray that is parallel to the principal axis. So definitely that particular, this is my first incident ray. Show the arrow mark, guys. Otherwise marks will get cut. Incident ray is moving in this direction and hitting at this point. Then the reflected ray will definitely go through the focus, right? So this is my first reflected ray. And now the second reflected ray. Okay, second reflected ray, what I will do is I will take an incident ray and I will pass that incident ray through the focus. Yes, this is another rule for drawing a ray diagram that we have studied. If an incident ray is going through a focus, then the reflected ray would be what? Reflected ray would be parallel to the principal axis. So this is my second reflected ray. First, second incident ray, and this is second reflected ray. So where are the first reflected ray and the second reflected ray are meeting, guys? See, they are meeting at this point, isn't it? So the image, the darker thing I'm drawing is the image is formed like this. Image is formed. See how beautifully the image is formed? When the object is kept at the center of curvature, image is also formed at the center of curvature but inverted. Yes or no? Let us write the point here. So what is the position? What is the position of image? Position is at C only, right? And what is the nature of image? Nature is real and inverted. Real and inverted. And what is the size of the image, guys? You just see the size. I took this much arrow only is getting formed, but ulta, inverted image, right? So size remains same. This is very important to remember. Size remains same. Okay, how much ever the size of object you took, that much sized image only will get formed. But the image is real and inverted. Image is forming in front of the mirror but inverted. Okay, size remains same. Fine. So this is our case 3, guys. Now let us go for case 4. See, we are bringing the object near to the mirror slowly. First, the object was at infinity. Later, I brought the object behind C. Now, I brought the object exactly at C. Now, I will bring the object between C and F. Let us see what will happen. Okay. So, here my object is between C and F. It is between center of curvature and focus. Okay, and let us see how the image appears. Can you able to guess here? Say this is our pole, this is our focus, this is our center of curvature. Okay, see exactly I am bringing my object here. So this is my object, AB is my object. Now let us draw the ray diagram. Okay, any two rays let us draw and see where the reflected rays are meeting. Okay, so the first incident ray is emerging from the object which is parallel to the principal axis. Then definitely that should go through the focus. Okay, so this is my first incident ray and this is my first reflected ray. Fine. And the second one, which incident ray can I consider, guys? See the second one. Let me consider incident ray moving through the focus. Okay, so this is my second incident ray. When an incident ray is moving through the focus, it will reflect. The reflected ray is parallel to the principal axis, right? So the reflected ray is parallel to the principal axis. So this is my second reflected ray. Okay, and where are they moving? Where are they moving? See, here they have met. Okay, R2 moved, R1 moved like this, and where are their meeting point? This one. So let me draw like this. See, I got my image beyond C. Okay, see, when I kept an object between C and F, I got an image beyond C, behind C. Okay, and the image is quite big. You see, the object was of this much length initially, but the image length, you see, it's slightly increased. Okay, so image is enlarged. I'm getting real image, inverted image, and the size is enlarged. So let us write the points here. So what is the position here? Position is behind C. Okay, and what is the nature? Nature is real and inverted. R in the sense real, I is inverted. But size is not diminished, not same. Size is little enlarged. Yes or no? Okay. And you see case 2 and case 4, guys. What is the difference? In case of case 2, object was kept beyond C, image is formed between C and F. Object kept behind C, image formed between C and F. Case 4 is exactly opposite to that, no? Object is between C and F. Where is the image forming? Image is formed behind C. Okay, so this is a shortcut way to remember. Case 2 and case 4 is exactly opposite to each other. If an object is kept behind C, image is always formed between C and F. If an object is kept between C and F, image is always formed behind C. Okay, so both are exactly opposite. So try to remember this. Now let us see the case 5. Okay, in case of case 5, I will bring the object exactly at focal point, principal focus. Okay, see, in case of case 4, we have seen object being there between C and F, right? And now the object is exactly at F. Okay, let us see how does our diagram look like. Say this is the pole, right? And this is our focus and this is our center of curvature. See, here I am bringing my image. See, here is our image exactly at focus. Let us see what happens here. Okay, I'll draw the incident ray. The first incident ray I will take parallel to the principal axis. So its reflected ray will get passed. Where does it pass? It will pass through the focus. Okay, so this is my R1. And the next one, I will take the incident ray being passed from center of curvature. Okay, incident ray is going from center of curvature. Reflected ray also comes in a same line, right? So this is my R2. R2, you see? I took an incident ray from center of curvature. So in the same direction, in the same line, our reflected ray also comes back. And you see, where are they meeting? This is my first reflected ray, second reflected ray. Where are they meeting? They are not meeting. Both are actually parallel to each other, isn't it? But two parallel lines, when they keep on going, at certain point they do meet. Two parallel lines definitely do meet when they go as it is in a certain direction. Got to know? So these two parallel rays also meet at a certain point somewhere very far. Okay, they do meet at a point of infinity. Okay, so that's the reason a long, very big image, if they are meeting somewhere very far, imagine these rays are coming They are coming, 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 and they do meet. They do meet very far away. Imagine here they are meeting. So this much from the principal axis, you draw inverted arrow mark. See, this much image you will get. Your image was basically this much, but you see the image that you are getting. Okay, so where does the image is forming in this case? It is forming at infinity. So let us write down the points. So what is the position of image, guys? Position of image is infinity. Remember this. Nature of image. Nature is always real and inverted. But what is the size? Size is enlarged. Okay, size is enlarged. So you get a kind of magnified image. You will get a magnified, in the sense very much large, enlarged image. Okay, so that was our case 5. And now coming to case 6, this is very, very, very important, guys. Okay, keep this point in our mind, because most of the questions that can be asked in the board examination is on this particular case. Okay, so in our case 6, object, I will bring the object between focus and pole. Okay, initially here in case 5, I have my object exactly at F, that is focus point. But now I will bring my object between F and P. F is here, P is here. Here in between F and P, I am bringing the object. Okay, let us see what actually happens here. You can't even guess. Okay, you get a very different image. So this is our P, this is our F, and this is our C. Okay, where am I bringing my object? I am bringing my object here between F and P. So this is our object. So take any two rays, any two incident rays, you take it. First incident ray, I'll draw parallel to the principal axis. So it will definitely pass through focus. So this is my R1. Okay. And coming to the second one, second incident ray, let me take it from center of curvature. Okay. Let me take it from center of curvature. And it will reflect in a same line. So reflected ray is moving like this. Okay, so this is my R2. You see here, they are not even parallel, guys. If they were parallel, no, at least in some point they would meet, infinity point they would meet. But they are, this is going like this is going like this. If they have to meet here, it's very difficult. So they will never meet in front of a mirror. Okay, but you have a chance of meeting them behind the mirror. Okay, so imagine this line I will extend. This line I will extend. See, this is the point they are meeting. The reflected rays are not meeting in front of a mirror. They are meeting behind the mirror. So definitely image is formed behind the mirror. That's why this particular case is very important, I said. Okay, see, any image that is forming behind the mirror is called virtual image. Yes or no? So, what is the position of image here? Position of image is behind the mirror. Behind the mirror. Okay. And what is the nature? Nature is very important, guys. Behind the mirror, if image is forming, it is virtual and erect. See, arrow mark, I didn't make it ulta. I made it upright. That is erect. So, nature is virtual. It is a virtual image and also it remains erect. And what about the size? Size is enlarged. Here also, size is enlarged. You will observe a magnified, bigger image as that of object. Object I took is very small, but the image I got is very big. Okay, so this is our hero of the ray diagrams. Today's hero of ray diagram is the case 6, which you shouldn't forget, because in all the 5 cases, what was the nature of image you got? Real. That means you got your images in front of the mirror only, not behind the mirror. That's why they were real and inverted. But here you will get the virtual and erect. Even in a concave mirror, virtual and erect mirror, images are possible. Okay, so these are the 6 ray diagrams that you should remember on concave mirrors. Okay, so at different points, different images you get. When you keep object at different points, different images you get, and this is what can be asked in the board examination. So very, very, very important. Okay, and to have a best understanding, let us see a visual or experiment on this ray diagrams. This is a setup of an experiment here. This is a pole, focus and center of curvature. Exactly at a pole, we are keeping a concave mirror in a stand. This wooden thing is actually a stand. On this concave mirror is placed. Now let us see a case 1. Object we will place very far away, that is at infinity, and let us check. See, this candle is the object, and see, some screen is kept in front of a mirror, because image can fall on a screen, right? The image formed in case of concave mirror is real image. So just to see where the image has formed, we have kept a screen. You can observe here the image is formed here, that is near the focus. See, screen is kept near a focus. When the object is at infinity, the image formed is at focus. Okay, so this is a point we have to remember carefully. And in the dark room, we can see something like this. See, object is here, the image has formed here, that is exactly at focus. Clear? See, this is the situation 1. Now case 2. If we keep the object beyond C, let us see what happens. See, object is kept beyond C. The image is formed between F and C. You can see, and the image is little bigger than before, right? Image is little bigger than before, and it's an inverted image also. Now let us see case 3. If the object is kept exactly at C, let's see what happens. Object is kept exactly at C. Image is also formed exactly at C, guys. See, screen is kept at C, where you can see an image, and the image here is exactly same as the size of object. Okay, so that is one thing you have to observe here. As the object keeps coming near, size of the image also increases, right? Now case 4. Object is in between C and F. See, object is in between C and F. Image will form beyond C. Image is quite bigger here. Yes or no? See, this is the image. Object is between F and C. Image is behind C. You can see in a dark room very clearly. Now case 5. Object at F. Object is at F. See, where is the image? Image is not here. Image is somewhere very far. You can see the image here, right? Bigger image, enlarged image you have got. See, in dark room you can see very clearly. So these are the cases 5. Case 6. Object is between P and F. Object is very near. Then let's see where is the image. See, image is not to be seen here. Even at the far, image is not obtained. It's not obtained on a screen, in the sense it's not a real image. Image has to be virtual, right? See, when the object is very near, image is formed as though it is there behind the mirror. That means it's a virtual mirror. Okay, virtual enlarged. See, the image size is very bigger than the object. Okay, so virtual and erect mirror we will get. So these are the 6 cases of ray diagrams that we have studied in case of concave mirrors. I think you are very much clear with the concept after watching a beautiful experiment, isn't it? And now let us discuss here the applications or the uses Applications are nothing but uses of concave mirrors. So where do you use concave mirrors? See, we have seen so many variations in the ray diagrams, right? Say at a certain position, the image appeared small, and sometimes the image appeared very large. Because of this variation of concave mirror, it has lots of uses. In varieties of areas, we use concave mirrors, guys. Say the first and foremost, I will take up the solar heaters. Okay, say solar heaters. Say from this particular ray diagrams, I can say how does a solar heater works out. Solar heater, as well as TV, dish TV. Okay, see what is the shape of a solar heater, guys? This would be something like this. Okay, and here some vessel would be fixed at the center. It's because from the sun is at infinity, right? You see object at infinity, where are the reflected rays are meeting? They are meeting at focal point. So all the incident rays that are coming from a sun, no, they will get reflect at this particular point. Okay, so that's the reason exactly at this point they will fix some vessel. Okay, so when all the reflected rays meet at this point, that particular point heat generation would be more. Okay, so because of that heat, the cooking can happen within the vessel. That's how the solar heaters will work. In the same way, TV dishes also, they are also there in the shape of this particular way. Yes or no? It's because same concept here. Somewhere here at the center, instead of a vessel, no, they will fix certain sensors. Okay, so when reflected rays will meet at this point, actually, say that's where the working takes place. That's where the image formation takes place. Actually, sun's image is formed at this particular point, because we are taking the incident rays from a sun here. So sun's image is formed at this point. That's why sun's image, lots of heat. That's why cooking took place. Same way here, when sensors are kept, sensors will work because of the image that is concentrated at the center. Say from this ray diagram, I can say that, this is what the concept that is used for solar heaters and TV dishes. Okay, say concave mirrors are used in solar heaters, TV dishes, and shaving mirrors, guys. Shaving mirrors, makeup mirrors, right? Say shaving mirrors are very different. They are not like our normal mirrors. When you see your face in front of a shaving mirror or makeup mirror, your face appears very big, magnified. Okay, it's because of this particular ray diagram you can observe here. As the object is very near to the mirror, is this object is very near, the image appears backside, virtual erect. In front of a shaving mirror, you don't appear ulta, right? You will appear straight only. See, this is what the application of this particular ray diagram. Okay, so image is appearing very big, image is also erect. Okay, say based on this particular ray diagram, shaving mirrors or makeup mirrors are designed. Even dental mirrors used by dentist is also designed based on this particular concept. Clear, everybody? Say you see in various areas this concave mirrors are used. Mainly you should remember about shaving mirror, makeup mirror, dentist mirror, okay, and the mirrors or the solar heaters and the TV dishes. Say in all these areas, even the car headlights, okay, headlights of car also has this concave mirrors, flash lights, torch lights. Okay, so all kinds of lights, torch light also has this concave mirror. Say these are the various areas concave mirrors are used. So uses of concave mirrors also very, very important to remember, right? So once again I repeat, solar heaters, TV dishes, car headlights, torch lights, flashlights, dentist mirrors that are used by dentist because he should see the things very clearly, right? So that's why dentist mirror, shaving mirror, makeup mirror, all of them contain concave mirrors. Okay, so with this, I am completing the image formation by concave mirrors. All the ray diagrams of concave mirrors and the concave mirror applications. So in my next video, we will discuss about the image formation by convex mirror. Okay, till then, keep revising the concept. Very, very, very important one. And if you have any questions, you can post in a comment, and you can also tell your opinion about the class in the comments. Your comments mean a lot for us. So, and do subscribe our channel to learn the concepts in the easiest way and in a detailed way. Thank you so much.